entertaining. And it's put Cedars now right on the back of the Kit and Car Care Products CRC Ute. He's to our teammates, and Cedars had to follow him home yesterday in race number 2. But he can't afford to lose too many more points to Nathan Pretty, who's up the road in second. This is really helping Kim Jane out.
I think what's happened there also, Nathan Pretty's seen that Cedars was coming at him. He really needed to get past Dontas to get away from him. So ideally for Nathan, if Dontas can hold Cedars behind him and Nathan can get that little break, that'll give him a few more points in that championship, close it up a little bit more. The more people he can get between him and Cedars is going to be better for that championship. But still good points all for both guys, all in all.
It really is shaping up as one of those years that's going to go all the way to the very last race. The smoke there from Dontas' cart. Not surprised with the amount of panels it's probably rubbing here. Also got the right rear of the Mango Credit Ute that's a little bit loose after the opening lap contact with Jared McLeod. Might just see it flap around here in the background. There it is. Yep. But not enough to earn him the meatball flag to come back into the pits. Doing a good job. What's Walton got left for us here in the Bush Ranger Ute? Also hearing that there's going to be a bad sportsmanship flag for Danny Bazadzik for the curb use, which is probably a little bit about bringing dirt onto the racetrack more than anything.
Absolutely. So there, Chris Walton's car's got so many dented panels on it. He's been in the wars all weekend. But we'll never give up. We know what Chris is like.
Well, there you go. He goes to the inside of Gray. Engine change for this ute off the back of Phillip Island. Couldn't make it stick there. Peters Motorsport. And the Bush Ranger, multi-spares. Oh. And then the IOI ute. Oh, this is heating up. They're all queuing up behind McLeod.
Gray there.
Now, Gray was saying the only panel on this car that hasn't been hit yet is his tailgate. So he's hoping that someone might just be able to do the job for him, so the car is completely perfect. And with Walton behind him, it's a chance.
Well, I'm hoping that the roof isn't dented, so...
He's wondering if he's going to even bother fixing it before Townsville.
Yeah.
Because you know what Townsville's like.
We see there Walton there in the blue and white Bush Ranger car. Hansford behind him, both teammates. Usually the pace setters too, so they're having a really tough weekend here at Winton this weekend. Obviously the new surface has caught them out a little bit. They can't quite get a handle on their Fords. And they're really struggling because usually you see those guys right up on the top of the timesheets all the time.
Yeah, Walton, after getting that penalty yesterday, was the fastest guy on the racetrack. Barbera was the fastest in practice. They just haven't been able to make it stick. That's a cool angle looking back over down towards turns 2 and 3 and then through 4 towards this long sweeping turn 5 or someone.
Oh, I just heard a bit of
a lock-up. Don't think it was any of the lead pack here. Jane, you can see there, got a bit of breathing room as this track snakes its way in front of the crowd on the hill towards turn 7.
Oh, Gray locking up there.
What a great vantage point that is from up in the cherry picker in our compound, looking across the racetrack, one of those circuits where you can see so much. Oh, and Walton pounces this time. He's got a really good sit. How much room does he give at the exit? Enough, that's fair.
Absolutely.
Very fair. He could have run him right out of room to have a better position for turn 10, but he's quite sporting.
Oh, and Hansford now.
Oh,
teammates up the inside.
This is good stuff.
Barbera now. I think he's going to pounce on the inside of Hansford.
Now, how does Barbera get involved in this one?
Oh, I think Hansford's going to be the loser here. Barbera's up the inside of him. And after a half a lap of racing, the only difference in change was Hansford and Barbera at the back of that train. Kim Jane still out front. There we go.
That's our cameraman, Johnny Walker, which probably goes against everything being a Woodstock-sponsored event, but he was doing a very good job filming an entire lap for us up there. Our brave cameraman sitting up there in all conditions, rain, hail, shine. Obviously, the thunderstorm at Clipsal. They get all these amazing pictures for us from the Virgin Australia Supercars Championship wherever we go.
Now, Walton on lap 3 set the fastest lap of the race so far, so he has got a quick car, as you alluded to earlier, but very hard to get through the traffic. So here we go to a replay.
Here we go. Oh, Walton getting close. Barbera getting closest.
Oh, is he going to?
Oh, yeah.
Does hit it.
Oh, my goodness.
I was just going to say, I saw a lot of debris flying in the air on that previous shot when we were talking about the cherry picker angle, and I'm thinking, someone surely didn't hit that left-hand wall.
Someone surely did.
Absolutely.
And it was Mason Barbera. Surely the steering's a little bit out after that. He has successfully hooked every single panel on the left-hand side of that car. That was almost like a crash at the Gold Coast, turns 1 and 2.
Yeah, absolutely.
The way that cars can rifle off that outside wall. That thing's going to be awful to drive now.
Oh, it's a ute, should be fine.
It's probably knocked it back into shape.
Yeah, it's probably straight in the middle of it up.
Big curb that's been reprofiled, that whole last corner. It's not just the fact that this track's been resurfaced. It's the fact that a lot of the curbs have been changed, the shape of the corners as well, so particularly that last one, which has helped us find so much speed, including new lap records in the utes, now set at a 1:35, which is a good 2 or 3 seconds as Barbera has another crack at that wall, quicker than what we've been in the past. This is good for Craig Woods here. This guy, out of the Aussie racing cars, a race winner and round winner, actually picked up the win at Highlands Motorsport Park, from memory, and doing a really good job here to run with the fast guys on debut.
Absolutely.
That's the ex-Mediki ute. That was run by Matt Stone Racing, so it's of good pedigree.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, obviously a fair bit more car too to drive. Oh, there's been a push here. We've got Gray into the inside of Woods. Sorry, is that McLeod?
Yep, McLeod there in the Ram Locksmith's entry. He's been putting up with a fair bit of pressure here.
Now Barbera just pushing his way through there.
I get the feeling McLeod might have used the good tyres that he had left in the reverse grid race because he won that so brilliantly. Now he's fighting. And what is a very strong battle between himself and a couple of teammates who are still at it. These two have spent half the race side by side, Hansford and Barbera. Who wins it this time? Can Hansford get across? No, Barbera goes out a little bit later. Or maybe too late. No, good driving.
No, he's pulled that up nicely. And Woods actually nearly getting up the inside of Hansford there. Woods might have a slight advantage on the guys in front. Looking at his bonnet. Yeah, Chris Walton.
Jeremy Gray said he wanted to have someone touch up the back of that car, and he's had it. The car is now officially perfect.
No more straight tailgate.
Nice and symmetrical. They just need to drop something on the roof when they're packing it back into the truck, and it's complete. So they're all putting the pressure on here. Cedars, actually 3 Cedars cars there, Dontas, Cedars and Gray, and Walton is coming charging through this field again. He has the fastest ute this weekend, I get the feeling, but unfortunately the judicial system has been against him, and couldn't quite put it on the front run qualifying. Here we go, defensive driving from Cedars. Up the inside at 7.
Then you get the inside of Gray here. I don't think he's going to be able to go around the outside. It's a little bit too slippery.
Walton's got something left for us here, I feel like.
He may do an inside move here, but Gray, fairly seasoned campaigner here in the Utes, is well aware of the gaps that you can't leave open in this category.
He's a good old motocross boy, Gerard Gray. He doesn't mind getting the elbows out.
Doesn't mind using the dirt either.
Exactly, yeah. He's more at home out there, if anything. So Jane's still leading from Pretty. Dontas, this battle. What's this, a good 6-7 cars here, all tied up. Dontas hanging on to that last spot. Actually, he's going to finish second for the round here if they finish the way they are. But that could change if his teammate in the Mango Credit Ute gets around him. Last lap for Kim Jane. Weathered the storm this weekend. Looks like he's going to continue that streak of pole sitters winning here since 2008.
You can see the difference just between Kim Jane, who's had a clean run out the front. If you remember Dontas, he was actually right on his tail at the start of the race and was putting pressure on him, and now he's nearly 5 seconds adrift. And it just goes to show how much these little battles can really cost in the way of time on track. And it might be a 10th here, 2 tenths there, but by the end of the race, 5 seconds is a big margin to lose from where you were at the start of the race.
And how much it can hurt your tyres going to wall like this.
Absolutely, yep.
This is brewing for the last half a lap. Can Walton get a few more spots, even just one more? Gray drives defensively. Woods hangs it around the top. And wow, McLeod is the guy to watch for here as he swings to the inside of Walton and picks him up.
Well, I think that was a bit of payback from a few laps ago.
Oh, yep, and Walton doesn't like it. And he speaks with his bumper.
I think there might be a bit more judicial system inquiries after.
Well, he's looking for the perfect weekend. He's looking for 3 drive-throughs in 3 races here, Chris Walton. That's going to be some kind of record. Meanwhile, out the front, it's Kim Jane. Used his tyres supremely in qualifying to make sure that he had the front row locked down.
The straightest ute in the class as well. Look at it, there's not a mark on it.
For the first time since Barbagallo in 2012, he'll be on top of the podium. And he takes it in his stride. Cool as you like. Meanwhile, these guys are going to brawl the whole way to the flag and probably in the principal's office afterwards. But it's Kim Jane's day. Fantastic effort. It's such a shame that he had a real shonky opening round at Clipsal where the thing nearly burnt to the ground, because he would be in this championship charge. A couple of really cracking rounds at Phillip Island. And this is the battle that we're going to just quickly recap on.
Oh, there was Barbera was in the back of Walton there as well. Ooh. So there's a little bit more to meet the eye than what we saw initially. There was a slight touch there, but looked like Walton was getting pushed as well from behind. So going to be interesting to see what comes of that later on today.
Well, that's how they wrap up, Junior, here, with Kim Jane getting the win over Nathan Pretty and Craig Dontis hanging on. But they'll switch Pretty and Dontis around on the podium at the end of the day, because that is how they'll wind up in terms of the round. It's going to be an all-Holden podium for consecutive rounds. It's been a very long time since that's happened. McLeod, unfortunately, back there in 16th following the 2 Oakland-built